look, if there's one thing that's always going to hang over Kyle's head is winning a Super Bowl. He had chances in Atlanta as an assistant. He had a chance in San Francisco a couple times. And so that's the only reason. That was the only criteria. Like you could say, is Kyle Shanahan a better designer of offensive play caller than Nick Sirianni? Yeah. Okay, is Brock Purdy, can he throw a prettier pass? Probably. They're going to have to continue to upgrade across the board on defense right now.
My goodness, look at who is sitting down with us right here at Radio Row. Here at 95.7 The Game. You hear his voice on our station all the time, but rarely do we get to actually sit down and break bread with the man. Ladies and gentlemen, it's none other than the great Brian Baldinger. How are you?
I'm good, guys. I'm good. I just got here today, so I'm fresh. My voice is strong right now.
You look good.
I just got back from the Cayman Islands. You know, I mean, little island hopping.
That's a flex.
I mean,
you come out of the Cayman Islands, you're fresh. You know, you're ready. You're ready to charge.
Oh man, it's good to see you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're doing all right.
Yeah, no, this is the finish line. This is the finish line.
No joke.
We started, I started July 24th, 25th, whatever. Basically, it's an everyday job. You don't have to take any days off. But I live for this.
What do you think? What do you think of how the playoffs have gone and where we've arrived?
The overtime games, the games that sudden death. I mean, nail biters. I mean, competitiveness. Maybe the quarterback play you'd like to see elevated in some of the places a little bit better, but you can't control all that stuff. But I feel like we've whittled it down to the two best teams right here. I don't think anybody got in that wasn't expected, especially with the injury to Bo Nix.
And the 49ers and their fans, they should be satisfied with as far as they made it, considering how dilapidated their team became?
Yes, no question. And in fact, that Brock Purdy went down and Mac Jones came in, played great. Jake Tongas comes out of nowhere and has a role, and DeMarcus Robinson in big game in Philly. So they just kept finding guys, and obviously you lose Fred and Nick, you lose a ton. But they scrapped and look, I mean, there was Seattle in their way. Like, they weren't going to beat Seattle. Not now, not with what they have. And so that's really the challenge with the Rams and the 49ers right now is Seattle's the top dog in this division. And John Schneider's done a great job.
Brian Baldinger is with us, and he's brought to you by Unlock, and he's joining us here on the River Islands guest line. Brian, I think 49er fans would and I know you've done it a little bit coming on our station so much, but let's talk about that. This offseason and the problem that Seattle creates for the Niners, what do they need to do?
Well, I think defensively you have to get a lot better. I mean, Seattle's defense is number one defense in football. New England's was the fourth best defense in football. Denver's was the third best. Houston went. You've got to have a top 10 defense and maybe a top 5 defense to get this far. Philadelphia, was the number one defense last year. They had 13 takeaways in the postseason alone in four games. They have to get a lot better on defense and at taking the ball away. It does come down. Seattle isn't a great takeaway team, but they're a great defense. And they showed that to the 49ers. They couldn't score a touchdown in 2 games. And so I think that's where it's got to start right now. It's got to start with built. And I saw John Lynch at the Senior Bowl last year. And, here comes Michael Williams and Collins and, C.J. West, whatever. They're going to have to continue to upgrade across the board on defense right now. You look at Nick Emanwari right now and Devin Witherspoon. These are top-flight athletes that change the game, and they need those type of players.
And also, I'm thinking about, the pass rush, which was almost non-existent this year. How important is that so that their secondary that might be middle of the pack, do they suddenly get better if the pass rush is a lot better?
They'll be better. I don't know if they're going to get that much better. I don't know if they, Tyquan Woolen runs a 4.28 40. They just don't look like they have great speed. Mustafa came in. He's a good hitter. They played their hearts out, Upton Stout, whatever. I mean, they played hard, but playing hard is what you have to do to begin with. Now, if you play hard with elite talent, now you might be able to really change and affect the game.
Baldy, I know you're well aware of this. It got a lot of run on our station when you went on IP leading up to that Eagle-Niner game, and it was that question about coach-quarterback combo, right? Sirianni and Hurts versus Shanahan and Purdy.
Yes.
And you said it wasn't even close.
Yes.
I would love to hear you expand on that, especially after what ended up happening in the game.
No. Listen, I mean, anybody, they can attack me for anything, but I don't mind that.
But
But I don't mind.
Yeah.
Because really, when I was asked the question, which pair would you rather have? The one just won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And went to another Super Bowl. The one just won a Super Bowl and went through the postseason like nobody else. And they led the league in rushing and defense. And I said, okay, I'll take Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts was the Super Bowl MVP. They were the best team in football. They'd gone to the Super Bowl the year before. That's what they're trying to do here in San Francisco, win a Super Bowl. When they win a Super Bowl, it would be easy to say, and I just think it's unanimous because that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's all about, and look, if there's one thing that's always going to hang over Mike's head or Kyle's head is winning a Super Bowl. It took his dad a long time to win one, and two. But, he had chances in Atlanta as an assistant. He had a chance in San Francisco a couple of times. And so that's the only reason. That was the only criteria. Like you could say, is Kyle Shanahan a better designer of offensive play caller than Nick Sirianni? Yeah. Okay, is Brock Purdy, can he throw a prettier pass? Probably. But to me, it was just, I answered the question definitively because in my mind, it's Super Bowl championship or bust.
Brian Baldinger here on 95.7 The Game. This Super Bowl has me thinking about the quarterback position because Sam Darnold against Drake May. Drake May is a rising star. Sam Darnold's on his fourth stop. Mm-hmm. So do we overrate the import of quarterback being, you have to be elite to go out there and win the Super Bowl?
You don't underestimate it because Sam's the same talent that he was coming out of USC. Yep. He hasn't had any injuries. Nothing has curtailed his arm strength. Is just the same as when he left Southern Cal. I think it really helped him the year that he was in San Francisco, and he really got to see Kyle and Brock and the whole group really game plan. He saw how hard Kyle coaches the quarterback, how the offense has to be coached, what game planning is really like. I don't think he got a good look at that in Carolina or New York. So I think that helped him to go to Minnesota. But it really just goes to show you that it's an organizational structure thing that you've got to have. John Schneider has that in Seattle. They blew out their offense coordinator after a year last year, and they got Clay. They got Kubiak in there. So it's a lot more than just a talent and, okay, let's give him a receiver. Like, it's got to be everything. They took a left guard in the first round. Not many teams are willing to take a left guard in the first round. But, Graves Abel's made a big difference on that team. And so it's just it's an organizational thing, and Sam's benefiting from that. But I feel like the talent that he has always had is now able to flourish.
Baldy, you're co-hosting right here on 95.7 The Game from 6 to 9 in the morning.
I might as well just stay here. Give me a cup of coffee. Might as well just stay. Enjoying the guys here, man.
How good is that? You're going to be here at 6 in the morning tomorrow?
I'll probably be here at 5:45 game planning.
Look at you.
Put some ideas together, that kind of thing.
Love it.
I'll be up, man.
And Baldy's breakdowns. I love it, but we're not going to get a chance to get 3 hours, so I just want to get this in now. The game, Sunday. Yeah. What do you see? I'm not asking for a prediction per se, but what do you think is the prevailing factor in this game that's going to lead one team to win it?
Well, when the brackets came out on Sunday, January 4th, I picked Seattle from the very beginning. I just thought they were an elite defense with great talent, and I didn't think Sam Darnold. I thought even if Sam struggled at any point, the team was good enough to overcome it. So I'll take Sam, but I like the playmakers that Seattle has. I like Emanwari. I like Witherspoon. I like Big Cat Williams. I like Ernest Jones led all linebackers with 6 interceptions. Jackson Smith and Jigba led the league in receiving. I just think they're an elite program right now with elite talent, and their defense, the way their defense plays with this matchup zone. Mike had the same defense, taught the same things in Baltimore. They led the league in sacks and in takeaways that year, 2 years ago. They make the quarterback hold the ball. They're not really sure who's open, where the help is coming for, how they're matching up your route combinations. Like Sam, look, Matt Stafford had a great game, but that's 17 years of experience looking at these concepts that Seattle was thrown at him, and having Puka, and having elite players on that side. Not that New England doesn't, but I feel like Drake May he's going to need an extra tick in order to kind of figure some things out.
Baldy, it is time for the final question, brought to you by Ghostwood Kitchen in Redwood City. What is your must-have food for the big game party?
I could eat ribs all day long.
Okay.
Just give me barbecue spare ribs.
Barbecue spare ribs. Fall off the bone.
Like from here to the end of that table, and I'll just pick at them during the game. And there won't be 1 ounce of meat left on any bone. I clean the bones.
Like 2 dozen ribs just to start, and then
give me 2 racks.
That's an appetizer.
And I'll eat all day Sunday, and then on Monday I'll just lick my fingers.
We're looking forward to listening to you tomorrow morning.
Thanks,
man. It's
guys.
great to see you.
Appreciate it, man.
Okay.